What's up guys, welcome to Beardman Comics. I am an artist, an aspiring filmmaker and a wannabe comedian. Just like you, I always want to finish what I've started. So in the segment of Nail It With Beardman, I'll nail an artwork that happens to have a cycle, speed and fear. The following is a consequence of not hitting the record button. Apologies, and let's begin. Once I refine the line work after a slew of rigorous hatching, I initiate to paint the subject by picking colors that are opposite to each other on the color wheel. Such combination is called complementary colors that help to increase the contrast in the artwork. This is skin tone followed by a very regrettable blue palette and darker grey tone for the hair and beard. I like to choose the color of the outfit in the later stage. Now I pick a gradient from the skin tone and start brushing it underneath the line work. This allows me to recognize the areas with ease that I am going to erase. Caution is the key to have and therapeutic is the zone to be in while doing this, because we are rooting for smooth edges on the skin. Yes, I like to dig deeper into the artwork, similar to those talkative friends who like digging deep into pointless conversation that I pretend to hate. Amid lockdown, where I use my hair as a pillow and my beard to store chicken chunks from the dinner last night for midnight cravings, I make sure that I give this guy a basic haircut followed by a gentle trim on his beard. Brace yourself as I hide the top layer for a moment and look at this. This is the consistency I am rooting for. Look how smooth the edges have turned out to be. Though he looks more like Mo Salah, but I am alright with it. To remove the excess blotch from the handlebar, I use a knife and start slicing all the unnecessary bits at once. At times it can be painstaking, but if done right, you'll feel as Tywin Lannister would have felt after peeling the skin off a stag. Once I am done with the base coat, I promote to hands down my favorite part of the process: detailing. Starting with the metallic bits, I use two of the most contrasting colors, black and white, to make the metal as reflective as metal. Now it's time for the skin. I pick a darker tone from the palette and start dropping down shadows on the left side of the body. I tone down the color a little bit and try to give a dimension to the face until I witness this. I take a moment to ensure if I'm wearing 3D glasses and proceed. While I am preparing to intimidate you with more sped up shots, I find this to be the perfect opportunity to talk about the challenge in which I have participated. It's called 100 Days of Sketching by Kish, a fellow artist, YouTuber and a filmmaker who is responsible for 4,000 plus artwork submission on a daily basis. As the name suggests, the challenge is to draw each day for 100 days, enabling those lazy bums, wannabe freelancers and procrastinators to leave their beds every morning for some purpose. And no, I'm not one of them. I have a whole number of clients, if not natural. I know math is hard. Anyway, if you haven't heard about Cage, then you can find him from the link in the description below. Even this artwork is a part of the challenge. Now coming back to the drawing board, I finish up the ear which I had completely forgotten. Why the background is so depressing. Wait. That's better. And this is it guys, the artwork is ready. Look how fast he's moving. Godspeed, right? Of course not, it's incomplete. I want a background with a sense of speed, stuffing hash brown with a dash of cheese and start drawing with a brief while trusting motion blur before I sneeze. Enough of this. Accio cool grey color palette? Not smooth enough, never mind. Once I have poured a color in the entire piece, I start darkening the areas that are least affected by the sunlight. Now I'll bring back my beloved sharp knife, which is turning out to be very useful in places such as this, where detail doesn't even qualify to be a sidekick. I imitate Tywin Lannister once again and carve out excess skin all over at once. Now it's time for the lighter tones. I roll the paint over the artboard similar to painting my bedroom wall with a rolling brush. Once done, I'll remove a few tiny bits to create some shadows. Up next, the surfaces that are very much exposed to the ambient light, which in this case is the sunlight, gets highlighted. As a sucker for details, I put some unnecessary efforts on the bill that is stuck on the wall, because it will be gone as soon as the motion blur is activated. So here it is, a very basic and underwhelming background. I quickly get rid of the color palette, bring the subject back into the frame and do this. Motion blur. After garnishing it with a hint of sunlight and sprinkle of black letters, it's done. This is certainly not the best of my work, but it's good enough. I nailed the movement in the background and the speeding subject does seem to be petrified. The light is bright enough to contrast with the shadows, adding more depth to the artwork. Overall, this took me about 3 hours, which for me is a respectable time to create an artwork with fairly basic details. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much for sticking around, guys. While I share this delicious hash brown with my roomie, you could share your thoughts with me about the video in the comments below.